Hey, you guys, this is Fabio. I'm coming back with another live video. This video probably won't be as long as a lot of other videos. I don't know. It kind of depends how things go. But I wanted to touch bases. You're going to see me look down because I took a few notes here. I got swapped with a lot of emails as usual. And some things, I guess would be concerned. It's the way this cleaning business stuff is set up, the way the whole industry is set up is definitely not set up to be easy. I never tell anybody that, this is easy. Yeah, sure, you can make a lot of money at it. Sure, there's a lot of great perks that come with it. Sure, don't have a lot of overhead, but it's never going to be easy. And if you're getting in this thing for it to be easy or to just make a lot of money real quick, I'm sorry to say that probably won't happen. It's going to take some work. Okay, so what I want to do is a few things that I want to talk about. I'm going to go ahead, jump right into it because I don't have a whole hell of a lot of time. So I'm going to go jump right into it. Like I said, I wrote down some things. I got some emails, and these particular emails, these particular situations stuck out to me. So that's why I wanted to go ahead and kind of dive right in and talk about it. It's just about 1 a.m. Where I'm at, so I didn't want to come on too late. I want to try to catch as many people as possible. But here we go. So I'm going to give you my perspective, guys, on these few things that I'm going to talk about. As I tell people, there's no right or wrong way to run this business. It's just not. Okay, it's a lot of different ways that you can generate revenue with the commercial cleaning business, residential cleaning, right, and any other aspect of cleaning. Okay. There's some people online and offline that will have you to believe that there's one specific way you could do it, that you should do it this way. You should have a franchise. You should run it this way. You should do it that way. And I'm here to tell you, if you're not open-minded, okay, and that's where I excel at, right? I'm at my best when I'm very open-minded, where I don't crunch everything in together. The way my business is ran, guys, is systematically, okay? It's ran like a system. It pretty much runs the same way every single day, okay? From the time that I wake up to the time that I go to bed, right? Every single day, it's like a system. A system runs complete every single day. McDonald's is a system. The employees are supposed to come on the morning shift, come on the morning shift, the afternoon shift, right? They do the training the exact same way, no matter who comes in or put in an application. McDonald's is going to train you the exact same way, right? Whoever worked the cash register, worked the cash register. Whoever worked the drive-through, worked the drive-through. Whoever flipped the burger, right? It's a system, okay? It's a system, and it's a proven system, okay? The same thing goes with this commercial cleaning stuff. Once you build a system, you follow your system. You don't deviate from that, okay? And that's why a lot of people go to franchises. People think I just hate franchises. I'm just not big on what they stand for. But there are people that I know personally and that I don't necessarily know that's making a nice little income from franchises, okay? So I would never tell anybody not to do a franchise, okay? What I will tell you to do is do your research behind it, okay? And that's with any business. That's whether you franchise or whether you're going independent in any industry. You just want to make sure you know what you're getting into, okay? So let me go ahead and tap on this, guys. First thing I want to talk about is running a one-man show. Now, I got an email from one of my subscribers. I won't say any names, but I got an email from one of my subscribers. And what he was saying was, he don't want to pay employees. He's very scared. One second. Hey, what's going on? Hey, what's that? Oh, okay. Look, I'm on a YouTube video right now. I'm gonna have to call you back. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. So, but what he was saying is he don't want to have to pay employees. He was asking me about insurance and different things like that. And I had my assistant, Jad. I told her pretty much what to say. She emailed it back to him. The thing is, you can have a very successful commercial cleaning business just being a solo entrepreneur, right? Just running the entire ship by yourself, okay? But there's gonna come a time, trust me, There's going to come a time where if you don't delegate those duties to somebody else, that you're going to burn yourself out. And what's going to happen is it's going to show up in your work. You're going to become a little bit more lazy. You're not going to want to do it. It's going to become a job. And then you're going to have to still worry about the administration part of it, right? Handling your taxes, handling this, handling that, still picking up new contracts, still working your existing contracts, right? And it will be much harder to build your system that way. I'm not saying that it cannot be done, okay? Because there's a lot of solo entrepreneurs or solo commercial cleaners and residential cleaners out here that's just doing it. They're working at their own pace. Now, again, once again, I don't care if you're doing a commercial, I don't care if you're doing a residential, you can make an absolute fortune either way you go, and do it as a solo entrepreneur, do it without having any employees. But there is a, a pro and a con to both of them, okay? And the same thing with having, employees, a pro and con to that too. I understand the gentleman where he's coming from, because it's kind of like having a baby. I like to use this analogy all the time. It's like having a baby. When a woman, give birth to a baby, right? The first thing that she wants to do at that point of giving birth to the baby is want to make sure that the baby is okay. Is the baby healthy? This and that, was there any complications? What should she look out for? She wanted a lot of information. She wanted to make sure that the baby is okay. So she's going to do what with that baby in the very, very beginning? She's going to nurture that baby. Now, as the baby get older and become, just from a small child to a little kid to preteen to teen, then those duties don't have to be, she don't have to be that up close and personal with the child. Not saying that, she won't be close to her child, but she don't have to give that same attention, right? As she raised this child is going to begin to learn and begin to be able to do things on his or herself, by his or herself, and won't need mom or won't need dad as often, right? Because they're learning along the way. They're growing and they're learning. So they'll be able to do things for themselves. That's the same way the system works. That's the same way this business, in its infant stage, when you guys set up your commercial cleaning business, you get your DBA, you get your tax ID, you get your insurance, you get your all of that stuff that you need, right? Once you get that stuff, this is the infant stage of your business. This will make or break you in the very, very beginning. That's why I tell people, don't just get into it like I did. I got into it just for the money. I tell people, if you can help it, try not to do that, because a lot of people don't turn out like me when you just get into it just for the money. Right? I got into it just for the money. I started making money, and then I began to like it. That's how it worked for me. Okay. But if you know that's not where your passion is, or you don't have that instinct that I have to turn something that you really didn't really want to do, that you're just doing it for the money. If you don't have that instinct to really go from that to turning it into cash, then I'm not sure that the cleaning business is for you. But to hop back on the topic, like I say, you can make an absolute fortune being a one-man show. There is just pros and cons to it, okay? And that's whether you're doing residential and whether you're doing commercial, okay? I've done it for a very, very long time in the very beginning. And if you're just joining me, guys, go ahead and like, share, and subscribe. I greatly appreciate that. Go ahead and get those likes up there. Help me out, guys. But I do understand the concern of a person that's just starting out, or a person that's doing the business, and they don't want to relinquish these contracts that they work so hard to, obtain and get. They don't want to relinquish that power to anybody and have anybody clean those contracts, right? Because a lot of times they might not know the person, right? They just hired somebody that was recommended, right? So they're thinking, well, what if this person steals something? What if this person, break something? What if this person do anything that's going to cause me, hell, pretty much? That's the mind frame a lot of times of a lot of people. And I have to be the first to admit that I had that same thought process, right? When I hired my very first employee, way back when. I worked all of my accounts. I was up to about 9 accounts, and I was working them all by myself. Now, the reason it worked for me a little bit for a significant amount of time is that I was able to space them out. You kill yourself when you're working every single day. You have 2 or 3 contracts a day to clean, right? So you have these different contracts. You have to do a contract every single day, right? Monday through Saturday, sometimes Sunday through Saturday, right? 7 days a week sometimes, just depending on the nature of your schedule and how you set it up, right? That would kill you, right? That would kill you. That would take anybody and kind of turn them into like quitters, so to speak. They would make them want to quit, right? So that's why I generally tell people you can either do the W-2 guys or you can do the 1099. Okay, the 1099, you just don't take out any taxes. You pay them. If you owe them $300, you give them the $300. You don't take any taxes out. You just give them that in a check at the end of the year. You 1099 them, right? You just fill out the 1099 form, the appropriate form for them as being an independent contractor, and that's what you present them, right? They're responsible for the taxes on the revenue that you paid them or the money that you paid them. Okay, you guys know how the W-2 work, right? Obviously, you take all the deductions out, you take all of that out, right? Because they're an employee. Okay, so again, you got your subcontractors, you got your independent contractors. It just depends on what you want to do. Okay, now, like I said in the very beginning, I understand the notion of not want to relinquish that power to anybody and have anybody clean. However, make sure you don't burn yourself out because you still have a home life, right? You have a husband or a wife, right? You have children, right? You still have daily home duties that you have to do, right? Then you have these business duties, the paperwork, the administration part, right? You have to log in your revenues, you have to factor everything in, right? So it could, again, in the very, very beginning, you're everything, right? You're the employee, you're the administrator, you the tax personnel, you the marketer, you everything in the very, very beginning, because you don't have a staff, you don't have a track record, right? You don't have the revenue to pay anybody to do this stuff, right? So again, you have to be willing to put in the work. You have to be willing to put in the work. Once you put in the work, the dividends will come. It will come. But like I said, to the guy that emailed me and asked me about running a one-man show, he said he's absolutely terrified of relinquishing these accounts to somebody that he don't know, and then if they stole something, they broke something or whatever, he's like, that's gonna fall on me. So how do I feel about that? Excuse me. And I just explained how I felt about that. I think that you can do it for so long, but if you want to have massive growth and you really want to grow your business, there's going to be a time, because you only can do so much by yourself. Okay, you only get so many hours in a day. You can only do so much by yourself. You're not going to be able to grow to the level that you would probably want to grow doing it as a one-man operation. Okay, because being a one-man operation, I would tell any individual that decide to do it that way to spread things out. Don't rub yourself thin, right? Don't have things so crunched together, okay? Because it's gonna come down to account that you're trying to keep, and new contracts. So you're gonna be trying to weigh these two. You're gonna be trying to get new contracts, and you're gonna be trying to keep the contracts that you have. But if you burn yourself out, you'll be able to pick up new contracts, which is going to go into my next point here that I'm about to talk about. You'll be able to pick up new contracts, but then these contracts is going to start falling by the wayside. So it's going to be like a replacement. You're going to be replacing contracts that you lost. Let me go into my next point here. There's no certain order here. Let's talk about, speaking of contracts, let's talk about customized contracts. Somebody asked me, Fabio, I know you say you offer contracts, different things like that, and you probably present that contract to to everybody, right? That's just your standard contract. But would it be okay if I do a customized agreement where I customize and tailor-made the agreement to each client that I pick up, each new client? Could you customize or tailor an agreement just for different individuals or different companies, right? And you can do that, right? If you got the time to do that, if you're good at developing contracts, okay? That's not my specialty. which is why I didn't put mine together personally. I had the idea, but I had to sit down with somebody that knew more about developing an agreement than I did. That would be my lawyer. So, and that's how I kind of put mine together. But again, it just, it just depends on you. If you say you want to custom make a contract that fit everybody's need and everybody's situation, then cool. What I generally tell people is you can have just a standard agreement like what I have, and then you can have a checklist, right? Because every building is different. They're going to need different things. So you can check off this, this and this and that for building A. For building B, they might need this, and this. For building B, for building C, they might need something that you don't even have on your checklist. You might have to hand write right onto that checklist, right? The checklist is very, very important for two reasons. Because when you do your training, when you do start hiring employees, you want to make sure that they're doing everything that's on that checklist. Okay, you don't want to leave anything off, right? Because the minute you get to leaving things off of that checklist and it's not checked off, which means something is missing, complaints are gonna come, right? In the very beginning, I didn't have a checklist. I adapted that later on, but I was just kind of remembering what I needed to do, and every so often I would get some complaints, in the very beginning, because I think I got it all made, and then I go from this building and this building, and as many times I went to another building, guys, and it had dawned on me that I forgot to do something at the previous building that I just left. So what I would do is drive back and make sure that I get that done, because you don't want to get the complaints. And then sometimes you still miss, but the checklist just helps things, run a little bit smoother. So that's why I like to accompany a checklist with my agreement whenever I present my agreement. Okay, so that way the client knows what we're being paid to do, right? Everything is checked off, everything is documented. They sign and date it, I sign and date it, and there we go. We kind of present that checklist with the agreement. That's like an attachment to the agreement. Some people actually have a checklist, which I'm not a big fan of, but some people actually have the checklist made into the agreement. I'm not a big fan of that, and I have my reasons behind that. You can do it that way. I'm just not the biggest fan of that. I would rather have a whole separate checklist, and then we can attach it to the agreement, if that makes sense to you guys. Okay, so that's that point. That's about customized contracts. So that's how I feel about it. You can do a customized contract that fit, the tailored need, and you tailor fit everybody's individual need. Okay, I'm just not the biggest fan of that, because I like to work quickly, and I feel like to tailor make agreement would kind of slow me down when I've already have an agreement that I can just kind of open the file and go straight to it and just put it together and get it signed, sealed, and delivered. Okay, but it's not against any law or anything like that. If you guys want to tailor make a contract to fit each individual company need, then by all means do so. Okay, so another point that I had here, again, I just kind of shorten it up where I understand it to present it to you guys, is someone had said they are steady gaining contracts and losing current contracts. What am I doing wrong? And I kind of touched on this a little bit ago. If you're losing contracts but you're steady picking up new contracts, then there's a problem. There's a problem going on with the contracts that you have already, in terms of probably the workload. You're probably missing something. You're probably overworking yourself. There's a training issue, I would suggest, going on, whether it's just you by yourself or whether it's you training your employees. There's a training issue. There's something that's going on there that's causing you to lose those contracts. What I like to do whenever I'm let go, I tend to like to ask them, for future, reference, or just, for case study points. I like to ask people, what did I do wrong, or what made you not decide to go with us or to keep us. I like to know where we went wrong or where we dropped the ball, because there's no change in their minds. Whenever they want to let you go, they're going to let you go. Okay. Um, but at least you know where you dropped the ball. Okay. So you kind of want to take that along with you going into picking up your new contracts or your current contracts. You don't want to kind of repeat. And if you're losing contracts just as fast as you're picking them up, I would probably suggest that there's a training issue going on, right? With the employees or something along those lines. Okay, because otherwise, if everything was running smoothly, you wouldn't be losing no contracts. Okay, now sometimes you can lose contracts and it's just not of any fault of your own, right? Sometimes you get underbid. Somebody come in, they got a better package deal, got a better deal going on, and sometimes the client do switch. Vast majority of the time, clients do not like to switch because they don't want a lot of different companies just circling through their building, right? They don't want to just have to give you, especially if you got a key and a code account. A key and a code is where they give you the key and an access code to set the alarm on the facility after you leave, or to disable the alarm when you're entering the building. So a lot of times they don't want to give this information to just new companies, company after company. Okay, I'm constantly getting outbid and lowballed, doing it for dirt cheap. How you handle that? Kevin, I'm gonna address that. I'm gonna hop on that shortly, just briefly. But like I say, they don't want a lot of companies, just kind of ring around a rosy, at their place of business, right? They don't want to have a different contractor all the time. So again, like I say, if you're losing them though, it's probably a managerial thing, or it's probably a training issue going on with employees or with yourself, where you might not be doing what you're supposed to be doing. Okay. Outside of that, the only thing that I can think of is you losing contracts due to probably no fault of your own. Maybe the business is going out of business, got some type of liquidation going on, somebody came in with a better offer. So those are some of the reasons that will cause you to lose a contract. Okay. Excuse me. Before I go into my next point, let me see what Kevin said. I'm constantly getting outbid by low ballers, doing it for dirt cheap. How do I handle that? It's almost really nothing you can do. To be honest, Kev, is really nothing you can do at that point. The most that I would suggest you do, and that's worked for me, is to offer more bang for the buck that you're charging now. So, because you can't lower the money, right? Because you got to make a profit. You got to be able to eat. You got to be able to handle overhead. You got to be able to handle personal bills and business bills. Um, so lowering the money would be, you can't do that, right? I wouldn't suggest that you do that, but you can um, do more for the money. You could offer more service, more to what you're currently doing, just to keep the contract. Okay. Um, Sometimes that works, and sometimes it just doesn't work at all. They just want to go with the lower offer. So if they want to go with the lower offer, it's really nothing that you can do, and that's quite unfortunate. It happens everywhere, USA, and probably around the world for that matter, where cleaning is being done. Okay. I've had accounts taken from me. I've taken contracts from other individuals. Same thing with franchises. Franchises taking accounts from me. I've taken accounts from franchises. So it's just the nature of the beast, so to speak. It's really, like I said, it's unfortunate, but it's really nothing that you can do. Uh, Let me see here. Leon say, I currently have 12 accounts and I just picked up 2 more. All of my contracts are serviced by subcontractors except, let me see, except for the new 2 ones. I've finally hired my first 2 employees. I trained them for 1 week. Okay, that sounds pretty reasonable, Leon. Good luck with that, and I hope that it work out that way. See, and the cool thing about that, Leon, you say you have subcontractors and then you hire your 2 new employees. right? So I'm assuming you have subcontractors and employees going on. That's a good way to kind of push it. Let me see, but somehow I feel like they are not independent. What's the best training process for employees? Um, to stay training them, you just have to, number one, and it's crazy because employees, you can have a relationship with them, like a friendship relationship with you. You have to let them know that you're approachable because you don't want them to hide anything, or if they make a mistake or there's something going on at the contract, you don't want them to not tell you, right? But I think a lot of times what happened, a lot of times what happened is the impression that we give off in the beginning, and I think I can't leave myself out of this. I think sometimes we give off a friendly impression. And once a person reads you, they feel like they know you, right? They feel like they know what they can do, right? So from out the gate, you have to be stern. You have to let them know what your expectations are. You have to kind of give them that whole rah-rah, that whole rundown, and then physically train them as to what need to be done in any given building. Right? I give you an example. I had to let some people go just recently, right? And I have a stack of applications, right? So we always hire and always got type of ads going around. Um, but I like to try to, especially when they're local. I can't really do this from my out of town accounts, but when they're local, I like to see everybody that come through. In terms of, I like to really interview them. I like to be hands on. I like to see them because I don't get a chance to see everybody on a regular basis anyway that work for me. So I like to kind of interview and get a good feel for them, right? So I just hired a gal just real recently to help for my call offs because we were running to a point now. It's starting to get a little warmer in my area. The snow went away, that type of thing, and people are getting, calling off. They want to call off, especially on payday, because we do direct deposit, so it hit the card a lot earlier, anyway, or the banks a lot earlier. So, but anyway, I hired a new girl to do cross training. So what we have her doing is going from account to account, and I'm going to hire some more people to do this because I'm going to need more people to kind of help her. We don't want to put all the weight on her, but I'm going to try to train her and pay her more to work multiple accounts in the event that somebody call off at any given account. So if I have her trained there already, she'll know what to do once she go to that facility, right? So again, it all comes down to training. It all comes down to how you present yourself to them a lot of times, because just like you read them when you meet them, at application time or at interview time, they read you the same way. So you have to give off a no nonsense vibe, even though you're cool as shit, right? You have to give off a no nonsense vibe. Again, a lot of people don't listen to me when I say that, but I learned early on, when you act really friendly, they take you to be friendly, right? And then they don't take you serious, and then they don't take the job serious. If that's the case, I tell people all the time, if you're gonna be like real friendly, and you're not going to be, you don't have to be real bossy, but you don't want to be real friendly. You want to be stern, right? Direct, but you want them to feel comfortable with telling you things that you might need to know since you're not there. Okay. But I tell people all the time, if you're going to be friendly, go ahead and hire family and friends. Because if you're looking to get fucked over, they will for sure get you there, right? They will for sure to get you there because they don't respect your business since they know you on a personal level, right? So they don't respect your business mind a lot of times, which is why I tell people don't hire friends or family, right? Um, and it's just the same thing if you hire outside. If you're gonna be real friendly, shit, they're gonna fuck you over anyway, right? They're not gonna take your business serious, not gonna take you serious, not gonna take their job serious, and they will start doing some of the things that probably family members and friends would do, right? So again, that's why I tell people you have to be stern. Please listen to me when I tell you guys that. You can have like training manuals. Another thing that I like to do. Um, I'm currently giving them 5 hours a day, Monday through Friday each. Do you think I should hire one more and lower the hours? I feel that they are starting. Um, Do I think you should hire one more? No. Let me ask you this, Leon. What do you do on a daily basis? I don't know how big or how small it is, so I don't want to offend you, uh, by trying to give you advice here. What do you do on a daily basis? The time where they're cleaning, what are you doing? Let me just put it that way, and this will be able to help me give you a better answer. Because I don't know how long you've been doing the business. I don't know, how many accounts you have. I don't know, your day-to-day operations. When they're cleaning, what are you doing as the business owner at that point? When you have your staff cleaning, what are you doing? Just waiting on Leon right now, guys. I do have another point to get to. I'm going to get to it in a minute, and this last point is pretty interesting. It's very, very interesting, but I'm gonna get to it shortly. I just want to make sure. Oh, and by the way, guys, while I wait on Leon to respond, I no longer do. I no longer do like callbacks or helping people with estimates for free. I no longer do that, and the reason being is because I get an overwhelming response for that. So in order for me to help any individual out with their estimate, it has to be like they have to have my coaching, or have been had to bought my paperwork, or been had to purchase something from me for me to help them out. Okay, I won't charge you a fee to do it, but you have to been able to purchase something from me for me to do that, because I value my time. And there's a lot of people, I won't say any names, but it's a lot of people that every time they get a new contract, right, they email me, hey Fabio, I got a new contract, and because I say here on the videos that I don't charge for that, I help you with that for free, I get swamped and overwhelmed with that. So I know this will cut things down dramatically, and I'm not trying to really shit on anybody or keep anybody, under, because like I say, if you watch my videos, it explains a lot of the stuff, right? Like I got over 400 videos here, and if you just carefully watch them, there are some people that's doing magnificent by just watching my videos and taking notes, right? But there's other individuals that actually need my help. And again, while I'm not trying to turn my back on you guys, still I get swamped with a lot of those. Can you help me with my estimate type deals? So I no longer talk for free unless it's on the video. So if you guys email me, you want something, or you got a question about something, it will go through my assistant, or you will talk to one of my reps in that regard, but you won't talk to me directly unless it's paid. Sorry guys, I get really booked up, and then this is without exaggeration, I get really, really booked up. So it's going to be paid to talk to me. Okay, so that's why I tell you guys to make sure you adhere to the things that you hear on these videos, because it's very, good information. It's very everyday information that you can use every day. Now let me get back here to I've been in business for 2 years. When I first hired them, I was with them all the time to make sure everything is all right. Now I started to show up after they finish the cleaning. I don't usually check my independent contractors because they are awesome. I only visit their facilities once a month. Or monthly inspections. Okay. So it sounds like your independent contractors is doing better than your employees right now. You did say your employees are new, right? These are new hires. These are new hires that you feel are getting burnt out, correct? Okay. Here's probably what I would do. If it's, I would talk to them individually and ask them, how is it coming? How, let me see, my first time hiring employees. Yeah, I would ask them, how is it coming? Uh, do they need any help with anything? Uh, do they understand the nature of what they're supposed to be doing? Because if you think they're getting burned out, then there had to be something that you've seen or some type of thing going on that shows you that they're getting burnt out for you to say that. And it probably showed up in the work. So I don't know how you work in them, but maybe the workload, you might need to cut the workload down. Okay. Um, you might have to step in and spend a little bit more time with them, those two individuals, because your contractors are already doing great, right? You say you don't have any problem out of them. Employees, a lot of times they don't take things serious, and then it depends on the nature of the employee. It depends on the type of employee. Okay. Um, I think you probably will probably want to step in if you want to keep them. You would probably want to step in and train them just a little bit more. Watch them, be a little bit more hands on with them. Okay. And I have to do that sometimes too. We hire, a new employee, and sometimes they're good, they're respectful, they show up, but it just seems like they're lazy. Sometimes they're tired, right? Sometimes they don't get themselves enough rest before the shift start. So when they come in, they're a little, down, they're a little lethargic, right? They're kind of not in the whole mood of doing any cleaning, okay? And the cleaning as a whole can take a toll on you, right? If you're doing it long enough, right? Some people, they can breeze right through it, and some people it does take a toll on. So I think you kind of need to step in and ask them, are they okay? Do they understand what they are supposed to be doing, right? You might need to show them, like physically show them a little bit more if it's showing up in the work. And you don't want to come off real bossy, because then they're not going to be receptive to it, right? They're going to be a little bit more standoffish, or probably want to quit if you kind of come off kind of bossy. So it depends on how you approach it. But I think you probably, if you like them and they have potential, then I think you might want to spend a little bit more time with them. Okay. Otherwise, you can cut back. You can say, hey, we do probation. We do a 90-day probation here. Let me see here. I will spend more time with them, but eventually I want them to be super independent. Yeah, yeah, of course, of course. Are they working together, or are they working individually? Are they working the same account, or are they working like two different accounts that you have? Maybe one at one account, one at the other. And then I'm gonna get to my last point here. I just want to make sure. By the way, if you guys want to reach me, you can reach me at bookfabiohart@gmail.com, bookfabiohart@gmail.com. Once again, guys, I don't do any talking over the phone or anything over the phone no more, explaining anything over the phone. Everything will go through Jasmine, my assistant. Um, they're at their own each at their each they're at each location. Okay, okay. Yeah, like I say, you could spend more time with them. Uh, and if you see by you spending more time that they're just not cutting the job, you can let them know you have a 60-day probationary period, right? You have a 60-day probationary period. Uh, if they don't perform, then you have to let them go. And you just let them know, right? A tactic that I used before is, and I probably shouldn't say this because a lot of people might do this, but there's times where I wanted to let somebody go, and instead of just saying you absolutely suck, or you're just not cutting it for me, I would use well, I got an email from the client, or I have a voicemail from the client in regards to the work performance or whatever, and I'm sorry I have to let you go because they no longer want you at the contract. And when I do that, I will already have somebody lined up to take their place. I had to be creative to get them out there because you kind of feel bad that just you feel bad to fire somebody or let somebody go anyway, right? But you kind of feel bad when you have a personal situation going on, a personal problem with them. So you kind of like you don't want to come off to too harsh. So I would just kind of make up, even though I see that they're not a good fit for us. And because sometimes you can say, well, I notice you're not a good fit, and then they'll give you back and forth, and you don't want to engage in that, right? Because it can go a whole nother way. They can just show up at the account and do something, they can try to catch you down bad or catch you, so you kind of want to. So sometimes I will put it on the client and say, hey, I got a voicemail last night, or I'll call them, hey, such and such, how's the site working out for you? Do you like working there? Is everything okay? Okay. Well, the reason for my call is that the client hit me up, and then Mrs. Jackson or whoever, right? I spoke to Miss Jackson, or Miss Jackson left a voicemail, or Miss Jackson sent me an email in regards to your work performance. She said it was a few things left out of line, and this and this and this, and I would just only tell them what I kind of noticed, certain little things that I noticed. So I would say, yeah, Miss Jackson said you never put the mop back in the janitor closet, and this and this and that looks unprofessional in the office, or you forget to do this, or you forget to do that. So those are little things, because sometimes I go in after hours and I would notice things, right? And wherever they effed up, I would go ahead and straighten it up so it could be put together, right? I would just kind of go, and check after, some of the employees, and I kind of make a middle note, or sometimes I'll take a picture of something. I'll make a note, like in my phone, make a note, the cleaner name and what they didn't do, and yada yada yada. So, and I got a whole bunch of that in my phones, right? A whole bunch of notes. But anyway, certain things you notice, you can just say, hey, Miss Jackson, she emailed me, she said this, or Mr. Smith, I talked to him, he said that, and unfortunately, I'm going to have to let you go because they no longer want you at that site. Meanwhile, you've already been talking to somebody that you think might be a good fit for that site. So that's the way that I do it. Sometimes I haven't had to do that in a long time because my staff, they rock, right? I have all females, by the way, that work for me. I don't have any males that work for me unless they're like what we call field supervisors. They're in the field and they kind of help me go check on the different accounts. But I don't have any male cleaners, right? I have all female cleaners, and I'm kind of particular too. I don't like to just make it all African American or all one this or all one that. I like to kind of mix it up, right, and have different type. I have white, I have black, I have Hispanic, right? So my staff, they work great. I tend to like people who's money motivated. Like when I sit down, there's a set of questions that I ask in an interview, and those that's going to college, that want to find a way to pay through college. I like those type of individuals. I like retirees. Retirees, they work for 40 years or whatever the case. They don't have nothing to do with their time. They've already drawn this pension check, so they're just looking for part-time cleaning work just to kind of get out the house, right? So I like those because they're a little bit more efficient with the working, right? They show up, they have their own vehicle, they don't have a lot of these different problems. They just want to do something to kind of get out the house. So the age range that work for me are like, I would approximate maybe like 23 to 45-ish, maybe 50, something like that. In between, just kind of give and take. I'm going off the top of my head, but I don't like to hire them real young, like 19, 20, 21, because they're so silly. You got to stay on top of them. You almost have to watch them like a baby. So I think a lot of times I get like 23 on up. It's 23 is still kind of young, but they a lot of times be more a little bit more mature, and you kind of get a feel for them through the interview. Like I said, certain questions where you kind of get a feel for their personality. Stuff like, why would you like to work for us? What made you apply with this? What motivates you, right? You give them different scenarios. If this happened at the job, what do you do? What would you do? you know, and there's no right or wrong answer. You just want to get perspective, right? You want to kind of pick their brains. And you have these set of questions already kind of typed out that you're going to ask. You don't have to ask all of them. You can ask a few, but I have like these set of interview questions. It's already in my paperwork, the applications and this and this. I'm already ready to go. Sorry about that, guys. I'm already ready to go when I go into the interview, right? So I just kind of look at, you know, sit back and look at my sheet and I say, so if this happened or that happened, how would you respond, or what would you do in this situation, right? Or what motivates you? What made you apply with us? You know, different things like that. And like I said, the ones that's really money motivated, I find, tend to stick around. If somebody say, oh, I'm just killing time, or I just need something to do, or this and this and this, and you ask them, well, where do you see yourself 3 years from now? And you say, well, I don't know, shit, I just, you know, I just want to be alive, and I just, you know, they don't have any set of direction. That's not the type of individual that I would want to work for me. Okay, great to see you again. Question, I know you're giving some help in previous video with this. For the past 2 weeks, I've been going to chiropractors, dentist offices. That's a good way to keep them in line too. Yeah, you can do that. That's why I would. I see you, Mister. I'm gonna get right back. I'm gonna get right back with you, Mr. 9341. Let me just call you that, if you don't mind. I see you. I'm going to definitely get back to you. Let me get back to Leon. Yeah, that's a good way to keep them in line, right? So you can just kind of make something you see. You can kind of make up the complaint and use the same scenario. Mr. Smith was saying this and was saying that. I'll give you another chance, you know, but you can kind of, when you call them and ask them, hey, what's going on? Do you like the site? Is there something going on? Is there something that I should know about? Do you understand what needs to be done there? Because, you know, you can always text me, you can always call me. You always make yourself accessible to your employees, right? Especially in the early stages when you have to deal with them. Once you start hiring field supervisors and this person and that person for this and this and that, then they'll call those people. But in the beginning, you always make yourself accessible, okay? So if they have your direct number, they shouldn't be, you know, thinking if they should text you or if they should call you, right? No matter what time of the day it is, especially like now, you know, a lot of times, you know, it's 1:45 where I'm at, right? A lot of times people are kind of pretty much almost done and just wrapping things up. You know, a lot of times they work these late hours. They work in 2 or 3 different accounts. They leave one, go to another one, and go to another one, right? So they're not getting home until like 4 a.m. in the morning or 4:30 in the morning, that type of thing. So a lot of that stuff goes on, man. But like I said, you can use that to kind of keep them in line, or you can use that tactic to let them go. Usually when I use that tactic, it would probably be to let them go, right? Because we've already probably at some point had a discussion about what's going on, and that, you know, I just need to get them out of there unless they did something. Like, for an example, I had a fight. I'll tell you guys about this. I had a fight at one of my plant contracts, right? And this is a major contract for me. So, and this is why I don't like when these girls that work for me fraternize with the actual workers of these plants. So you got the workers of the plant, and then you got the cleaning crew. So long story short, you know, just recently, these 2 girls got into a fight over a guy that they both like at this plant, right? And this happened more than once at different situations. So I don't know what was going on, but anyway, I had to let them both go. So I let them both go and I replaced them, right? So on that instance, like that they probably know that they're going to get fired, or they probably know that they're going to be terminated, right? But otherwise, if it's something that I see you, mister, keep it coming through. But otherwise, if it's something that could be worked on, then you can give them the opportunity to work on it and see where it goes from there. Or if it's just something that you feel you want to let them go, you won't be able to use them no more, then you can just use that tactic that I just explained to you to let them go. Let me go to the next situation here. You've suggested starting. Best way to get in contact with the busy doctor. Have an irresistible offer, like a flyer or something like that. Because I understand where you're coming from. Like, here it is, you did a walk in or door to door. You're trying to get this contract. The receptionist or the gatekeeper give up who the person is to hiring and this and that. Um, they give you the email. I'm not the biggest fan of emails. A lot of other commercial cleaners would probably tell you, do an email. I'm not the biggest fan because doctors, lawyers, busy professional people a lot of times don't check the email as often. Even with me, I'm always backed up in emails. I probably got a gazillion orders for coaching and paperwork. Oh, I'm always backed up, right? And I have an assistant to do it, right? And I still get backed up. So just imagine if you emailing them directly, what could go on, right? Um, Even though they give you an email, I would probably suggest that you follow up in person again by, paying them another visit or calling directly over the phone. Okay, because a lot of times those emails, they can have their email account set up with certain messages just go to spam, right? And they never even see it. It go to the spam or go to the trash, right? So here it is, you done got a nice little email going on. It says the right things, it's this and that, and then boom, they never see it. The reason I say flyers is because you can fax a flyer, right? You can fax a flyer, or you can just kind of show up, especially when you can tailor make the flyer to fit their need, right? To get them to respond quickly. Okay, I like that idea because especially when you're using like package deals, right? Where they can pick package A, package B, or package C, or package A and package B, right? You give them a certain, and they say, yeah, I think package A will fit me, and then you can sign them up for that. This is after you do the walkthrough and all of that stuff. If package A fit what it is based on the walkthrough that you did, okay? Because you want to make sure you're getting paid for the right thing. So I love the package. I love the package deal. So I'm still a big fan of that. But you can have an irresistible offer, and generally that's on like a flyer or something like that. Um, Something that'll catch the doctor's attention right away. Whatever it is, you're going to have to move quickly on it, right? Because the doctor isn't going to have a lot of time to deal with you, right? Or, like I say, you need to talk to the doctor one way or the other, whether you show up in person or whether you make the phone call, right, over the phone. You just call and ask directly for the doctor. You already, what is this in regards? It's in regards to this or that, right? Whatever you say, you need to get the doctor on the phone or you need to see the doctor in person. And you're only going to have a few seconds to impress the doctor. So you got to make them see your vision. Okay, I totally understand where you're coming from because I've had the same thing in medical facilities, especially dealing with dentists. I don't know, it's something about dentists that they're always incredibly busy. Like it's always hard to get the dentist, and then they have maybe like 5 or 6 dentists on staff, like in the facility, but the dentist person that you need to speak to isn't there today, and no one else can help you. You have to speak to this certain dentist professional. So I totally understand. I totally understand, but you have to make a presentation and it have to be quick, okay? And like I said, you have to get them over the phone. You call, you ask for them directly, or you show up and you ask for them directly. Just say it's real quick minute. If they say, well, he'll be done in about 15 minutes, you say, okay, no problem, I'll wait. and then you wait there, right? If they say you're going to be done in 10 or 15 minutes and you want that account, then sometimes you might have to do that. You got 10, 15 minutes. Sure. I'll wait right here. Right. Because you need to see him. But once you see him, you have to have something irresistible. You have to have something, because his time is value, and he's going to try to push you away, try to shove you off really quickly. He's going to try to be done with you quickly. Okay. So that's why I say a flyer be a nice situation. It says all the right things. You got an irresistible offer. You let them know how you can help them. And you say, hey, I can get you a quote in within 24 hours, 24 to 48 hours. Would it be okay if the assistant give me a walkthrough? I know you're busy and respect your time. You know, that's a way that you can. I've said that before. I generally like the doctor, because the doctor know what he or she wants. But you can say, I totally respect the time. I can actually do a walkthrough today or right now, if it's okay, if your assistant or the receptionist will give me a walkthrough, and I'll be able to go ahead and get you a quote within 24 hours. Right? Yeah, sure. Go ahead and just walk them through, show them, so sometimes you have to be creative like that, but you have to speak to the doctor one way or another. One second, guys. I'm getting all these texts. This is actually from an employee that's here. They're in another building. All right, I'm going to get back to that. Let me see here. Let me get back to these comments here. Yeah, as in like a free cleaning, half off of first month cleaning, 35% off of first. It can be, a free window cleaning, right? You can do anything like that, right? Have an irresistible offer to make them say, yeah, let's give them a shot. A 90-day, you give them like a 90-day offer. You just want to be creative just to kind of get in the door. You can do a package deal. We have package A for $59.95, and we got package B for $79.95. Package A is just the general cleaning. Package B is just the general cleaning plus a little bit extra. You're going to do this extra, right, to make up for the price. And you say, yeah, we'll take package A. Okay. Then you on that flyer or whatever, you're going to say what package A does, what that consists of, right? Same thing with package B, what that consists of. So they'll know exactly what they'll be getting for the money. You just have it laid out right there on that offer, right? Or you can explain that, Jesus Christ, I got a lot of things going on here. You can explain that to the receptionist. If you say, yeah, we'll take this, or just pass it to her or pass it to him, and he'll take a look at it. You can kind of explain what's the difference between A and B to the receptionist, right? But again, you have to see the doctor, okay? Because he's the one that's going to sign, seal, and deliver everything. Let me see here. What else I got? Hiring. Keith, I'm sorry for keeping you waiting. It says hiring for someone who go door to door. How do you know the person is actually going? That's a good question. You don't. There's no way that you'll necessarily be able to track that. But I will say, if you hire somebody that's going door to door, you want to get a professional salesperson, right? Somebody that's done that, for many, many years. Someone that has a specialized, skilled in that, right? Going door to door and selling door to door. But you probably wouldn't know. I have people that go door to door for me, but there's certain quotas, there's certain things that I stipulate, right? But I can't say for sure that I know that they went to this door at this certain time, or they went to that door at that certain time. But I do know that the results yield results. So you don't want to just pick just a Joe Schmo or somebody that just got a fancy suit and talk good and say, hey, you go door to door. You want to see if they have like a track record in going door to door. Or they can be trained. I mean, you could train them to go door to door and go door to door with them, right? But a lot of times you don't have the time for that, right? So a lot of times you would probably want somebody that's a little bit more polished. They got a little expertise in going door to door and direct sales via door to door. Okay, let me see here. Okay, guys, I want to get to my last point here before the video. I see I'm already at an hour long. So the first point that I covered was a one-man show, right? Running your business, one man. I covered that. The second point I covered was customized contracts or agreements, all right? If you're just late joining me, you might want to watch the top of the video for that. The third point I covered was I had an individual that said that they were going steady. They had existing contracts and they were steady gaining new contracts, but they was losing their existing contracts as they were picking up new contracts. So I kind of explained what I thought was going on there. And the last thing that I want to talk about, and I received an email about this, and this is pretty interesting. I tell you guys all the time that there is no right or wrong way to do this business, right? There's no right or wrong way to do it, right? There's a lot of successful people in commercial cleaning, and a lot of people get to that success in different ways, right? You get to it in different ways. Here's the last point. Someone told one of my subscribers, do not listen to Fabio, because I guess they were talking about it, and they say, hey, this guy, Fabio Hart, talked to him, or, you know, watch his video or whatever. And they were telling them that I was a big fan of flat rates, you know, charging flat rates as your cleaning fee. And this individual told my subscriber, don't listen to me, and you should be charging anywhere, and I wrote this down, you should be charging anywhere from $40 to $50 per hour in the facilities. When you clean in, you put in your estimate in, you should be charging $40 to $50 per hour, not per cleaning, in these facilities. So I had my assistant, you know, email them back. And this particular thing, as I stated earlier, I don't do any talking on the phones anymore unless it's like a paid coaching or anything like that. So, and I don't do the free estimates anymore, guys. So I'll reiterate that before I close the video out. But I had to talk to this individual. Okay. Here's the thing. And this is what I told this subscriber of mine. I say, there's no right or wrong way to do this business. I say, but I've been doing it for as long as I've been doing it and making as much money as I've made in it. I don't know if this individual has made money in it, and I don't know everything that there is to know. But here's one thing that I do know for sure. If you go in a building that's 2,500 square feet, that's 3,500 square feet, that's even 5,000 square feet. Let's just take 5,000. And you go in there saying that you want to charge them $40 to $50 an hour. And let's say you write the estimate up for 4 hours. It's probably a high chance that you won't get that contract. Okay? It's probably a high chance that you won't get that contract. Okay? Because they may look at the facility and say, it don't take 4 hours to do this. We do this in-house and it doesn't take 4 hours to do this. Or they might look at the hourly wage and be like, why should I pay you $40 to $50 per hour when I can hire my grandson or I can hire my cousin to come in and I can pay them $10, $11 an hour? Right? Now, here's the thing. 5,000 square feet isn't a lot of space. I know it might sound big to most, but it's not a lot of space. 3,500 square feet isn't a lot of space. Okay, the only time I tell people generally to start looking at per hour is when you're doing a facility like this. This is 4 buildings right here where I'm at right now, and it takes up 5 blocks. So we build this by the hour. We spend a lot of hours in it, day after day, right? This is a Monday through Friday account for us, right? It's a plant, $1 billion company, right? And they supply all over the world. This particular company where I'm at now, it's $1 billion company. Okay. We charge this by the hour because we will make more money charging this by the hour, opposed to just trying to give them some flat rate, right? Smaller to medium-sized accounts, you can try charging that by the hour. Just come back and let me know how it works out for you. Okay? Just let me know how it works out for you. I suggest that you charge flat rates for smaller to medium-sized accounts. Because you got to think, guys, if you got an account that you're doing twice a week, and we're just going to use twice a week, and let's say that account is roughly 3 hours to clean. Okay, now, or you write it up for 3 hours, but it might take you, let's say, 1.5 hours too, right? And you charge them $40 to $50 per hour for 3 hours, twice a week. In the client mind, they're going to feel like you're overcharging them, and you're not going to pick up that contract. But if you give it to them and you say, yes, we can get this done for $50 per cleaning, it doesn't matter if you do it in 1 hour or if you do it in 3 hours, you're still going to get the $50. Okay? Multiply that times 2, right? Because we're doing it twice a week. That's $100 a week, right? You multiply the $100 a week times 4 weeks, generally speaking, right? That's $400 a month. And it took you under 20 hours to do, right? It took you under 20, so you got $400 for under 20 hours. If you go and watch my old videos, if you scroll down like to the bottom, like when I first started my channel, when I was doing the videos, the video itself, the quality might look, but I was generating, I think about $1,600 for a very small account. And I think I was doing, no, I think it was $1,200 for 16 hours a month. I was doing 16 hours and I was clocking in $1,200. Now that was a pretty different deal. But a lot of people don't make that, I think it was $1,200, right? In that time frame. So the money can add up really, really quick. The money can add up really, really quick, but the greedy become the needy. Now, I told my subscriber, the one that I called him, I told him, I say, you can try that $40 to $50 per hour. Because I guess he was talking to somebody and he told him not to listen to me or whatever. And that's fine if he doesn't. I'm not going to be offended or anything. I say, try the 40. You could try the $40, $50 an hour. Just come back, just because I'd like to know, if you get it, if you don't get it, whatever the case is. Just let me know how it works out. Okay? In my head, I'm already thinking it's probably not going to work out for him because that's overcharge. Right? You write it up for 3 hours. Right? You charge them $40 to $50 an hour. Let's say you charge them $50 an hour. That's $150, right? You do it twice a week. That's what, $300 a week. You get where I'm going with that, right? Then you multiply that times 4, and the account is only 3,500 square feet, right? 5,000 square feet is not the 5,000 square feet is not a lot of space, guys. I'm sorry. To me, it's not a lot of space. Okay. Again, the greedy become the needy. If you do it that way, I do not think that you're going to get as many contracts as you would like. Here's what I tell people, especially if you don't have like an estimate breakdown or you don't have the formula. I tell people to go after the smaller to medium-sized accounts because I've made way more money, guys. Bullshit you not. I don't target things that's 7 days a week or 5 days a week. I'll pick them up. If I get them, I get them, but I don't target that. I like the once a week accounts, twice a week accounts, and 3 times a week accounts because it's still giving me life to do what I still want to do. And I'm probably still making more money than the receptionists that work there, right? Like, you can really make a lot of money really, really quick, right? So again, I like those once a week accounts, twice a week accounts, 3 times a week accounts. I love those accounts, the professional accounts. I like the banks. I like the chiropractors, the auto dealerships, right? These type of, to me, these are some of the easiest accounts that you can clean, right? And you can make big, big bucks from it. But again, you don't have to be very exaggerated, with your pricing, right? Now, sometimes you could fluctuate the price depending on the area. If you're in the well-to-do area where you would normally charge, maybe $50 for an account, you could bring it up some more, right? Because they can afford your service. They can afford it, right? They're in a well-to-do, the businesses in a well-to-do business district. They driving Bentleys and Maseratis and this and Corvettes and things like this, right? So they're in a real, well-to-do, maybe suburban area or well-to-do area. So you can bring the price up and they'll pay it, right? So, and in many cases, they'll tell you that's too low and they want to pay you more. Sometimes that happens, depending on, whatever office you walk in, right? Again, guys, the greedy become the needy. Like I say, I tell people there's no right or wrong way to do it. It's just I personally wouldn't charge $40 to $50 an hour for small to medium-sized accounts. I wouldn't charge that, right? Again, I suggest flat rate. If you're looking at anything 5,000 square feet and under, I would say you could charge anywhere between 40 and 65 bucks. Flat rate, and you will clean the freaking city up. On God. 40 to 65 bucks per cleaning. Now, if you're doing a once a week account, you might want to bring the price up, right? The reason being is that your workload is going to be a lot more. So the less days you clean, the more you will want to charge. I don't care how many hours you work there, the more you will want to charge. The more days you clean, the less you could charge. The key words in that sentence is could. That don't mean you have to charge less, but you could charge less, right? Because the workload, by the time you get to it, it won't be so big. If you're doing it once a week, by the time you go there again, you got a whole week worth of cleaning to do. If you're doing it 2 to 3 times out of the week, right, it gives you some play there. It's not as messy as it will be with a once a week account, right? So hopefully you guys understand where I'm going with that. If you have any questions or concerns or anything, you guys know what to do. You can always email me at bookfabiohart@gmail.com, bookfabiohart@gmail.com. But I did want to go ahead and get that off, because a lot of people think that they need to charge these ridiculous fees per hour, and I'm not the biggest fan of that. I wouldn't suggest that you charge $40 to $50 per hour, okay, for the smaller to medium-sized accounts, okay? You guys have any questions for me? If you have any questions for me, go ahead and get them off. Once again, I don't do the free estimate. The only way the estimate would be free is if you did coaching with me. I would give you credit for that, or you bought paperwork, or you did some lead generation. You did something. You made a purchase. Okay. Like I say, I get swamped with that, and it was beginning to become a problem for me because I was feeling bad that I couldn't reach everybody because of how hectic my schedule would be, right? So that's the thing. Like I said, I will still help you guys. I don't talk to, I usually sometimes will prep people and let them know this and this and that, or explain this to them over the phone, and in the event that, they may purchase something or whatever the case is. And it's not always about that, but I find I get the best results when I charge someone for a service or for a product than when I just give it to them. Because when I just give it to them, Let me see here. So I guess it's safe to say I could charge $120 per month for 18 square feet. Eye clinic for cleaning twice a month. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. $120 for that for twice a week. That's a fair price. Yeah. 1,800 square feet. Yeah, it's under 2,000. You know, that's like $60, you know, per cleaning. Um, to me, that would be fair. I wouldn't see why they wouldn't take that, right? And you got to think, if you get 4 or 5 of those accounts, look how quick that add up. Okay. Now, as you go into bigger accounts, that money that you have will begin to look like little money to you. It all adds up at the end of the month, but it looks like shit, like little money to you. And that's what I got going on now. Like, I still have a lot of older accounts, right? Because I got plants and this bigger account and this and that. So I get like double digits or at least 1,000 or better for, you know, certain contracts. Like this contract right here, I make between 10 and 15K a month. This contract. 4 buildings, take up 5 blocks. It's $1 billion company. I won't say the name. But um but I make between 10 and 15 here. Okay. One account. Okay. So, and we only have 3 people working at this account. Only have 3 people working at this account. So, like I say, um, you know, I do have those older accounts, just $60 per cleaning and this and that, but it all adds up. And when those checks come in, when it's the first of the month, like Bone Thug say, it's the first of the month. Wake up, wake up. I can't wait to the first of the month, right? I can't wait the first of the month because $60 might not mean nothing now because you got like an account that pays you between 10 and 15. But $60, that should mean a lot when it all add up and it come in abundance. It's like, you know, make it rain on me, right? That's the way I look at it because it still goes to the bank the same way. Let me see here. Fabio, keep up the great work. Hope to speak to you for the coaching. To make money, to spend money, knowledge is power. Yeah, Raymond. You know, like I say, and it's not that I try to, you know, be mean because I help a lot of people. I gave a lot of valuable information. I have one guy that he was making like 6 grand just watching my videos. Then he joined like the lead generation and matter and I don't know how long it took. He was up like 10.5, right? And he's not even from this country. Like he migrated to this country. You see what I'm saying? And I like to tell story. I got people like Darnella. You know, was in Chicago, Illinois. You know, she started in Chicago. She moved out of Chicago. Now her business is 6 figures annually. Now she does hotels and stuff in Chicago, and she moved out to Miami. So I get all type of success stories and people. You know, I just got a guy from Connecticut. Told me, man, I'm watching your video. His first deal was 2 grand. His first deal. He hasn't even bought anything from me, right? Just watching my videos. His first deal was 2 grand. So I like to get some of those type of stories, right? I like to hear those type of stories. Thank you, man. Thank you. I've heard all of the stories in the world. But again, what it comes down to is a lot of people, Raymond, believe it or not, they get discouraged. They don't get the account when they want to get the account, and they almost get discouraged. I was almost the same way. Like I say, I want to get my first contract in the first 60 days, and I got it within the first 90 days. By the 60th day, when I didn't have an account, an account, I was very, very discouraged. I thought, and there's some bullshit. I paid $200 some odd dollars for this information. It wasn't the information; it was valuable information. You know, I had paid for some coaching, so it wasn't them; it was me. Fabio, you gotta get off your ass. You gotta go. You gotta do something. What, you gonna just sit at home and you think it's gonna come? You gotta go. So that's what I had to do, right? I had to be more aggressive. So every day I woke up, I'm climbing. It's February 2012. I'm like, you guys know my story, right? Climbing through the snow, trying to knock on doors and this and this and this. And I wanted to get my account within the first 60 days, and I got it within the first 90 days. And that account was like 300 bucks. It was 300 bucks. But once I got it, I'm thinking like, oh, 300 bucks ain't that much, right? It was better than what I had. But it restored faith in myself that if I can get one account, all I got to do is 10x it, and I can get 5, 10 more accounts like that. So that was my mentality, and that's what made me stay in the picture. That's what made me stay in the game long enough, right? So Raymond, like I say, you know, knowledge is power. You know, like you say, you have to pay for it. I give a lot away for free on the videos. So, and then when people email me, they say, hey, Fob, I got a quick question. Can you give me a call? And they shoot me the number and this and this and that. And I will call them personally. And that would turn into a free coaching call because I answer their questions. I'm very affected. I explain it, give them examples and all of that because I want to see them win. I want to see them go, right? Like I say, so I had to cut that out because those same individuals, every time something come up, they shoot me an email, say, hey, Fabio, can you give me a call again? Hey, Fabio, can you give me a call? And then I help people with a free estimate over the phone, help them with their estimates. I didn't put a cap on it. I didn't ask for any 3 to 5% commission or monthly fee from the account or nothing. Help them get the deal. You know, we do the deals. They get the deal. Email me. Thanks, Fob. I got the no problem. But then they get another contract. Hey, Fob. Hey, I need help with this estimate. You know, then I help them get it. Bam, they got that. Hey, Fob, I need help with another estimate. Then I help them with that. They might not got that one or whatever the case is. But still, again, it's like, dude, I helped you with 2 already. The same thing I did for 2. All you have to do is duplicate that yourself. We worked it out. You seen what we did. You know, and then a lot of people, they buy my paperwork and just sit on the shelf. They don't do anything with it, right? They don't go working nowhere, so they don't get a chance to use the agreement. They don't get a chance to use this. They don't get a chance to use that. Right? It just, the flyers and this and that, they buy the flyers, just sit on the shelf, they don't do anything with it. Right? I do stuff with mine, right? But I have to market, I have to be able to get people on paper. Right? So again, you know, like I said, man, if you guys want to email me, it's bookfabiohart@gmail.com. If you have any questions at all, you have any questions, right now is the time where you can get your answers for free without a coaching or anything. Just get them off. People ask me, well, what is the coaching about? The way my coaching is set up, it's $300 an hour now. It was $100 an hour. I went up because the value that I bring is enormous. Okay, so I believe that I should be paid for my worth, right? So the way the coaching is set up is I answer all the questions that you have first at the top of the call because I want to get all your answers answered, right? And then I give you my systematic way to run the cleaning business. I kind of break it down from A to Z. Most people, they already got registered and stuff, so I don't have to talk about LLC and this and this and that. They already have that stuff most of the time. So the bulk of the conversation is marketing, different strategies, both on the residential side. I leave a lot of residential. I don't talk as much about residential on my videos as you guys see, but I talk a lot about the residential on the call because there's certain secrets and certain things that I do. They help me yield accounts quickly. Okay, so but yeah, and certain things that I do for commercial too. So some stuff I gotta kind of hold back from YouTube. But even if I gave it out, believe it or not, 95% of the people wouldn't do anything with it, right? Just like majority of the people that watch my videos don't do anything with the information. They watch me as pure entertainment or whatever the case is. They ask me some questions or whatever the case is, and they do absolutely nothing with the information, right? And I'm okay with that, right? Because the information that I give you guys, I'm generating an income from, so I know it works. It's just you have to put one foot in front of another and make sure it works for yourself, you know. But the coaching is more of an exclusive little thing that I got done. It's well worth it, you know. But like I say, if you're interested in the coaching, paperwork, anything like that, I even got a special on my paperwork right now. I don't push the paperwork or market the paperwork, but if people need an agreement or need this or need, you know, an estimate template, estimate breakdown, or whatever the case is, you need this. I have a special on that stuff, you know, right now for anybody. I try to make it affordable without just really giving it away for free, you know, but my subscribers, I love you guys, but you guys don't do what I think you should do, right? So it could be very difficult sometimes, right? But anyway, you guys have any more questions? Let me see here. It takes time, I understand. You have to push for it, right? Push and multiply, right? I would pay for the help and advice. Yeah, it'd be well worth it. By the time you get off the call, you would definitely say, hey, I got my money's worth for sure. You guys have any more questions for me? Any more questions? I'm sorry I don't get a chance to go live. As you guys know, I have, you know, a cleaning service, I have a transportation service, I have an auto brokering firm, so I'm doing multiple things, right? So I just kind of get backed up. But like I say, these are some of the things that stood out that I wanted to talk about, because it's my coaching is $300 an hour. But if a person is really serious, I will make a deal for them. If you email me, book FabioHart@gmail.com, book FabioHart@gmail.com. I would say for the first 7 people that's interested, I would give you a special deal on it, because I know sometimes money could be a problem, but I do know I give out value. It's going to be worth the money. I give out value. But book FabioHart@gmail.com. Put in the subject line coaching, right? Coaching on the subject line, and I will give you, for the first 7 people, I will give you a discount. Okay, so it won't be the $300, but that's typically my going rate if you're interested. Okay. If you're interested in the paperwork or you need some type of paperwork, I will give you a break on that. But the prices went up. It's a matter of supply and demand. It's like gas, you know. So, but anyway, you guys have any more questions for me, comments or anything? Let's go ahead and get them off. Like I say, I do apologize. I'm not able to get on these videos as much as I used to, or as much as possible. But like I say, I am steady running my business. I'm steady picking up new contracts. I do have my oh, and I meant to tell you guys is I started doing conference calls too. I started doing conference calls, but those for people that already purchased. Like if you purchase my you purchase the paperwork, you purchase code, anything you purchase will allow you to enter the conference call for free. So it's a private club for me. Like it's a private thing that we do. So it's not something that I'm offering for everybody on YouTube. Once again, I try to condense things because I know the vast majority won't do anything with the information. If they're not doing anything with the information that I give for free right here on YouTube, then I know they're not going to do anything with the free, you know, conference call, right? So I do conference call. That's something new. We do it once a week. It's a private call. You call into the 800 number. You put the code number in. I'm the guy that give the information. I answer questions over the call. It's generally multiple subscribers and multiple people on there, but I keep it to a certain limit of people on the call, right? I like to keep things small because I understand when you open things up to the masses, it's just hard for everybody to receive the information, and it just, a lot of times it's a total debacle. Okay, I'm waiting on my LLC right now. Okay. Well, that definitely don't stop you from the coaching if you're interested, dude. If you're interested, put coaching in a subject line. I'll give you a special deal on that. You want to pay the $300, okay? Again, so if you guys have any further questions or comments, go ahead and shoot them at me while you have me here. Other than that, I can't say exactly when I will be back on live. But I do feel like I owe it to you guys to try to get on as much as possible. I know a lot of people email me like, Fob, you haven't been on live in a long time. Can you please go live? Can you give me some motivation? Can you please, can you talk about this topic or talk about that topic? So I do get the emails. It goes through Jasmine, but I do hear about them. Okay. Um, Anybody else? Any questions? If not, then I think I'm gonna make me a cup of tea and go over to this other building and see what my employees want here. They were sending me text messages. You have any more questions? Anybody, any more questions? You have any more questions here? Again, if you're interested in the coaching, I give the first 7 people a discount, so it won't cost you $300. But you got to be very, very serious about it, and gotta, and when just don't pay your money just to hear me talk over the phone, right? You can do that and listen to me for free right here and see me at the same time. Do something with the information, guys. I get more enjoyment out of the letters or the text messages or the calls that I get where people say, hey, Fabio, I got this deal and I use this strategy or I use this. I get more, I feel more appreciated when I get those type of calls than just charging you $300 to talk to you for an hour on the phone, or, charging you this and you get this paperwork, or charging you this for a lead generation or anything like that, right? That's all good. I don't make a profit off of it because it's too low, right? That just goes in a marketing pool of dollars that I use to market my business. That's it. I don't make a profit off of what you guys send in. I got it priced, it's priced too low, right? So, and like I said, just recently I raised the price and it's still priced low. I just feel like I'm worth a little bit more now because the information that I am puking you guys is worth a great deal of money, okay? I'm sorry I missed your live. Can't wait to watch. Yeah. I think you'll enjoy it. You'll enjoy it. Okay. You guys have any more questions before I get out of here? Any more questions? It's the time. Again, once again, guys, I don't do the free estimate thing no more where I help you get a free estimate. The only way that will work is if you purchased anything from me. So if you have purchased anything from me in the past or purchased anything from me, over the last 24, 48 hours, wherever the case is, then you're up for a free estimate. We don't ask you for nothing on the back end. You totally keep that. Again, it's just I get swamped with a bunch of free, estimate inquiries, right? And I can't reach them all. And then some people that I help, they get the deal and then they come back to me when they get another deal. And so again, so I need to cut that stuff down, okay? And putting the price on it will cut it down, right? So, well, it looked like that's going to do it, guys. I guess you don't have any more questions for me. So look, the only person that can ever stop you from starting up your own dreams and making it to the top